the old YouTubes and subsequent other streaming locations. Facebook. Hey, Facebookers. DLive. Hello, DLivers. Let's see if DLive is actually working today. Says check it later. Great. So maybe DLive's not working. But thank you for being here. Today's topic is... What was today's topic? The heroes of the CHABAD shooting. We'll get into that in a bit. But today, for some reason, I felt like talking about one of the hardest chapters to deal with in the Bible, to me at least. And that is chapter 11 of Judges. For those who may not know, that is the story of Jephthah. Jephthah, who is so oddly, also mentioned... Hold on a second. Let me make sure. King James Bible Online. How do you spell Jephthah? He's got such a weird name. Jphthah. Jephthah. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Jephthah. The Lord sent Jerubbaal, Bedan, and Jephthah and Samuel and delivered you out of the hand of the enemies on your side. Judges, Samuel. Okay, that's 11, 12. Gosh, do I have to read both chapters? No, I guess not. Man, I could have sworn he was mentioned in the New Testament, but maybe they're spelling it different in the New Testament. I'm not going to look it up. All right, we'll just deal with the chapter as it is on hand. Let's go see today who is here in stream. Hello, Cubstodon, David, Rogers, Thunderbird, Derek, pop out chat, Felix, how are you? How are you, one and all, today? Welcome to NPR. Sorry. How you doing? My neck's still a little messed up and the pain is spreading down into my shoulder and I should probably go see my chiropractor, Oli. But I have so much to do, and I have no creamer for my coffee, so yeah, DLive's still not streaming. What in the heck is up with my DLive? Pastel Panda at DLive says, looks like you got stuck. Stream, my friend. I'll get that fixed for you. Make sure OBS is not streaming, and I'll let you know when it is done. Should be all good to stream now. And yet, here I am not streaming. So, I say, Alright, I might need to refresh also my Brave chat. No, it's coming in. It's just coming in slowly, so... it is popping in. Okay. It's getting there. Taking time to populate the stream thing. Chat, alerts, browser, Brave, window, chat, line. Let me drag that line up here. There. Can you even see that? Can't even see it, huh? That's weird. Oh, it's kind of turned off. Genius. Hello. How's everybody doing? Go see Oli. We can't take care of others if we don't take care of ourselves. I know. I'm the worst at taking care of myself. 'Cause I'm a man. Men don't take care. What is on my jacket? You'll notice I'm back in my winter gear. What in the heck? sweatshirt. Oh man, now I pulled out a big old thing. Dadgummit. I'm messing up my sweater. I know, this is terrible TV. Anyways, what's up, Metalhead? Hey guys, can you do me a favor? And I will do it too while you do it. Also, hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that share button, and let's get this out into the wider world and let people know we are examining the cross here today. We live. Come on now. All right. Tweeting is done. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should see if Gary wants to come on, or anyone. That would be Firefox. Whoops. Let me grab. Is this the right one? Oh, my boomin', my boomin'. Wherever I boom, boom booms. Boom booms. No, that's not right. Alright, while I'm doing that, I can try to do two things at once. Good day, Comic Book Journeys. Good day to you. It's a rainy one here in the San Diego area. What am I looking for? Hangouts. There it is. A little bit rainy. Can barely hear you. That's odd. What is the deal here? Let me double check OBS and see if my microphone is all the way up. Test, test, test. Yeah, the mic is full. Do I have to be right up in my mic? Jeez, I don't want to talk like that. This is, oh my gosh, seriously. Wow, the very... Why do I have to be this close to my microphone for people to hear me? It's really annoying. Really it is. I need a lapel mic. Maybe I could just get a lapel thing for this and I'll just put it up here on my neck. I'll talk like this. Raise your gain. How do I raise a gain, Edwin? Raise your gain. Filters. Properties. Advanced audio properties. Nope, no gain there. Properties. Your mic needs the love. Hey, do you need the love? Audio control panel. I'm at the mixer. Whoops. I just popped the mixer out of the panel. Darn it. How do I get it back in? No, I'm not streaming from my Mac. I'm streaming from my PC. I'm using OBS. And I don't know what the problem is with the microphone. So, oh no, Venezuela's civil war has begun. It was only a matter of time. I mean, come on. Audio output. Raise it. My audio output is maxed. I can turn it down and turn it all the way up. Or I can hit the... That's it. Advanced audio properties, filters, vertical layout, copy layers, rename, hide, unhide all. And that's it. In the Windows audio panel. Why does this have to do that? Right click, advanced properties. Right click, advanced properties. Backing, desktop audio, mic auxiliary. Desktop audio, is that it? Desktop audio. Is this desktop audio? Test, 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 test. Is this getting any better? Because I'm turning it up considerably. Mic auxiliary. That's at 100%. Oh, I can go higher than 100%. I didn't know that. Is this working? Is it getting better? Am I getting louder? Am I getting louder? This is such great TV, I know. This is going to be one for the record books. Is that any better? Oh, shoot, I don't want desktop audio that loud, do I? Well, I guess I can adjust it as I go. Right-click the sound icon on your Windows desktop. You know what? Let me just crank this up to 200 for the sake of close. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Is that any better? It looks better, but I don't know if it sounds better. Move your microphone away and we will tell you. How does that sound now? Delete system 32. This is very SMR-ish. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. I'm going to go back to bed. You guys are killing me. This is not a good use of my time. Windows. What were you saying? Doing a Windows what now? Windows. All I see is a bunch of... I don't use PC. It's fine. I'll just turn up my sound. Stop whining. Did you open the sound settings? Edwin, I don't even know how to get the sound settings. I don't know how to use a PC. When I used PCs, they didn't have all this app crap all over your PC. This is all new to me. I've been using Macs for too long. All right, I sound great. That's what I want to hear. That I sound great. If I don't sound great, lie to me. Oh, lower right-hand corner of my screen. All right, right-clicking sound. Open volume mixer, playback devices, recording devices. I'm guessing that one. Or sounds, volume control options. All devices currently playing sound. No, can't be that. Recording devices. This channel is at least 50% technical difficulties. I can't argue. I honestly cannot argue. What the heck? Recording devices, playback devices. Okay, microphone, blue snowball. Test. All right, I'm clicking blue snowball. How do I adjust this? Set defaults, configure? Why it's not letting me configure anything? I press it's not doing anything. It's just locked up. Advanced microphone. All right, here's a microphone. Levels. Testing. Whoa! Okay, that's probably a bit much. Testing, 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 testing. I want to be able to sit back here and talk. Is that good? Is that a good volume? Right about there? Is that all right? I'll give you guys 10 seconds to answer me. It looks okay on my mixer. Sorry, Custom Elvis. Okay, apply. Okay, all right. We're good to go. We're good to go. Thank God in heaven. All right. Thank God in heaven. Speaking of God in heaven, why don't we go to the Bible and talk about Jephthah? I don't look forward to this, oddly. I hate this story. If anyone ever asks you if you hate any part of the Bible, I hate this story. And that's the challenge I'm accepting for myself, to actually read it to you guys. So, I forgot to pray. Lord God in heaven, thank you for this day. Thank you for this fellowship. Thank you for these people. Thank you for your word and your wisdom and your grace and your counsel. And Father, this is a challenging story for me. I don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to say, Lord. I just pray that you guide my words and my wisdom, or give me wisdom. And help me to help me to be less me and more you. In Jesus' name, amen. Oh, this I hate this book. I love the Bible. I hate this book. Not this book, just this chapter. This particular chapter. I know it's a really weird thing for me to say, but I just hate what happens in this chapter, and so let's deal with it, shall we? I know. There's 1,600 pages in the Bible I could choose from, and I'm gonna ahead and go. Oh yeah, I forgot to see. Is Gary coming? That's a good question. Google Hangouts. Let me start a call. Send the link out, and then we will dive into my least favorite chapter in the Bible. Why am I doing this? Why? It's like usually, okay, here's the thing. Usually, if you, I don't know, don't, what? Come on, I need, done. Can something work here, please? Camera is muted. I want the camera muted. I'm using my microphone. Okay, how do I it's not allowing me to invite people to the call. Alright, I'll just grab the link. See if that works. Where's my Twitter? I know I have a Twitter open on one of these windows. Shoot. Come on. There it is. I really need to go to Oli. This is ridiculous. What's up, Withheld? The Amon and Tamar story is probably the one I hated most. That's a bad one. That is a bad one. Oh my gosh, now Twitter won't even open. What is the deal? Why is this computer being so persnickety today? Hello, Custom Elvis. Thank you for coming in. I'm just impatiently waiting for Twitter to open on my PC. How long should it take for Twitter to open? It should take like no time, right? Like maybe half a second. Maybe half a second. Freaking kidding me with this. You remember that scene in Evan Almighty when his wife is at the bar and God shows up and she's like, God, she's like, I need to be patient or something, and God's like, well, when you pray for patience, does God just give you patience, or does he give you the opportunity to be patient? This is one such opportunity. Hey, you got it, Sweetcast. You got it, brother. Okay, well, apparently Twitter doesn't want to open, so let's try a different browser. I don't want to use that because we're using that for other things. Let me try here. All this, and I bet you Gary doesn't even show up. When I was 5, I actually thought that God was Morgan Freeman. Oh, you want to hear a freaking hilarious story? When my son Isaac was very young, maybe 3, 4 years old or something like that. We went to the Rock Church. Miles McPherson was the pastor there. And here's cross-examinations. All right. And Miles, Miles is a light-skinned black man. And my son, Isaac thought he was Obama. And so Isaac thought Obama was our pastor. It was just funny. He would always get them confused. He actually just brought that up the other day. Ethan is threatening to horsewhip me on Twitter because I contradicted him again. Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? All right. Anyways, that's that. Let's get to something important. Judges. Oh. Goodness gracious. Now what's happening here? Why is that here? That shouldn't even be there. Oh, because I have that on. Okay. Alright, well, I'm going to turn that off until such time as Gary or someone actually shows up. So let's turn off the Hangout. Alright. Are you ready? Dr. Fantastic says, Mr. Miller, just once I want to say thank you. You have changed my perspective in a positive way with your discussions. Oh, fantastic, Dr. Fantastic. That's fantastic. Ethan has bad wrist and elbows. He couldn't horsewhip a table. Just boomering the tech again. Yes. We'll get there. And let's get there now because... as I said, this is my least favorite chapter in the Bible, and I'm not going to hide from it. I'm going to head right into what I consider the worst moment. Well, maybe, I don't know if it's the worst moment. It's just the chapter that just, maybe it's because I'm a father. I hate this. I hate this chapter. Aren't you patient already just by taking the time to pray to ask for it? I don't know. That's a good point. All right. Hey, Brother Mike. When I was I need to take a computer course. I just need things to work before I start, okay? Okay. Judges chapter 11. You guys probably can't read that on the OBS, so let me open it up a little bit bigger. There we go. There. Judges chapter 11. Now Jephthah the Gileadite was a mighty man of valor, and he was the son of an harlot, and Gilead begat Jephthah. So not a very good pedigree, but God chooses him as a judge over Israel. Anyways, and Gilead's wife bare him sons, and his wife's sons grew up, and they thrust out Jephthah, and said unto him, Thou shalt not inherit in our father's house, for thou art the son of a strange woman. All right, so there you go. His brothers, his half-brothers, didn't like that he was born of a whore and kicked him out of the house. Then Jephthah fled from his brethren and dwelt in the land of Tob. And there were gathered vain men to Jephthah and went out with him. And it came to pass in process of time that the children of Ammon made war against Israel. And it was so that when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, the elders of Gilead went to fetch Jephthah out of the land of Tob. And they said unto Jephthah, Come and be our captain, that we may fight with the children of Ammon. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, Do you not hate me, and expel me out of my father's house? And why are ye come unto me now, when ye are in distress? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, Therefore we turn again to thee now, that thou mayest go with us, and fight against the children of Ammon, and be our head over all the inhabitants of Gilead. Wow, this is a real Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer story right now. And Jephthah said unto the elders of Gilead, If ye bring me home again to fight against the children of Ammon, and the Lord deliver them before me, shall I be your head? And the elders of Gilead said unto Jephthah, The Lord be witness between us, if we do not so according to thy words. Then Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead, and the people made him head and captain over them. And Jephthah uttered all his words before the Lord in Mizpah. And Jephthah sent messengers unto the king of the children of Ammon, saying, What hast thou to do with me, that thou art come against me to fight in my land? And the king of the children of Ammon answered to the messengers of Jephthah, Because Israel took away my land when they came up out of Egypt, from Arnon even unto Jabbok and unto Jordan, and now therefore restore those lands again peaceably. And Jephthah sent messengers again unto the king of the children of Ammon. And they said unto him, Thus saith Jephthah, Israel took not away the land of Moab, nor the land of the children of Ammon. But when Israel came up from Egypt, and walked through the wilderness unto the Red Sea, and came to Kadesh, then Israel sent messengers unto the king of Edom, saying, Let me, I pray thee, pass through thy land. But the king of Edom would not hearken thereto. And in like manner they sent unto the king of Moab, but he would not consent. And Israel abode in Kadesh. Then they went along through the wilderness, and compassed the land of Edom and the land of Moab, and came to the east side of the land of Moab, and pitched on the other side of Arnon, but came not within the border of Moab, for Ammon was the border of Moab. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of Amorites, and the king of Heshbon. And Israel said unto him, Let us pass, pray thee, through the land into my place. You know what? I might be reading the first. No. All right. I'm going to skip ahead here. Kicking butt. All right. Howbeit the king of the children of Ammon hearkened not unto the words of Jephthah, which he sent him. Then the Spirit of the Lord came unto Jephthah, and he passed over Gilead and Manasseh, and passed over Mizpah and Gilead, and from Mizpah of Gilead he passed over unto the children of Ammon. And Jephthah vowed a vow unto the Lord, and said, If thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth from the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. So Jephthah passed over unto the children of Ammon to fight against them, and the Lord delivered them into his hands. And he smote them from Aroer even until they come out of Minnith, even 20 cities, and unto the plain of the vineyards with a very great slaughter. Thus the children of Ammon were subdued before the children of Israel. And Jephthah came to Mizpah unto his house, and behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances. And she was his only child. Beside her he had neither son nor daughter. And it came to pass, when he saw her, that he rent his clothes, and said, Alas, my daughter, thou hast brought me very low, and thou art one of them that trouble me. For I have opened my mouth unto the Lord, and I cannot go back. And she said unto him, My father, if thou hast opened thy mouth unto the Lord, do to me according to that which hath proceeded out of thy mouth. For as the Lord hath taken vengeance for thee of thine enemies, even of the children of Ammon. And she said unto her father, Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone 2 months, that I may go up and down upon the mountains, and bewail my virginity, I and my fellows. And he said, Go. And he sent her away for 2 months, and she went with her companions, and bewailed her virginity upon the mountains. And it came to pass at the end of 2 months that she returned unto her father, who did with her according to his vow which he had vowed, and she knew no man it was a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly to lament the daughter of Jephthah the Gileadite 4 days in a year. Yeah, he should have held his tongue. All right, I'm going to go back to the beginning here. So, wow. I always kind of focus on this end part because I hate it so much. But I just kind of want to go through. They give us his story. He's Rudolph. Right? Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you come and attack the Ammonites with us tonight? So Jephthah he's born of a whore, apparently. Gilead was already married, right? So Gilead went out a whoring, had a son with a whore. His other sons, when they all grew up, kicked him out of the house because they didn't like that he was the son of a whore. Not a lot of brotherly love there. So he ran away from home. Or he didn't run away from home. He was kicked out of home. And he went to his own land. I don't get this part. In the process of time, when the children of Ammon made war against Israel, that they just kind of called up Jephthah to be their leader. I mean, maybe in the process of time, something between him fleeing, living in Tob, and gathering vain men. I wonder what that vain, what it means in that context. Oh, my neck. Blue Letter Bible. This is 11, what verse? And it came to a man. 3, verse 3, 11:3. Judges. Judges 11:3. Vain men. Ray. Key? Rake key. What? Worthless? Ethically worthless men. Unethical men. Empty, figuratively worthless, emptied, vain fellow man. So, that's interesting. So he became the leader of a band of unethical men. Unethical men. I wonder if these are the men that he used with which to lead the army. I don't know. This part confuses me. How do you get from basically he became a gang leader. That's in modern vernacular. That's probably a good way to put it. He became a gang leader. A band of mercenaries, paid goons. Yeah. And I guess the leaders in Israel thought that he was that. Because of that, he was the biggest, bad mother shut your mouth around. A warlord, maybe. Designate. Maybe a warlord. Jephthah and the League of Unethical Men. My sketchbook says, when I first read this, tore my heart in two. Being a father, it struck hard. I know. Yeah, that's why I hate this chapter. And they said, come and be our captain. Come and lead us, Rudolph, with your nose so bright. He's like, did you not hate me and expel me out of my father's house? So he said unto the elders of Gilead. So the elders of Gilead, we're talking about the sons of Gilead. So the elders would be, the leaders, which are his brothers. It's like a weird, twisted version of the story of Joseph, right? And they turned again to him. Now, you know what? That makes me think maybe Gilead's other sons were all just kind of, wimpy fops. And Jephthah was the big, bad, shut your mouth. And And that's why they kicked him out. Maybe it was like obvious that he was the best of them, and out of jealousy, they kicked him out. Because I'm sure they didn't kick him out when they were all kids, right? They probably kicked him out when they were adults or older. And they were jealous, right? Because why else would they then turn to him in their hour of need? He must have been one bad fella. Bring me home again. I shall be your head. So yeah, if I deliver. So and then okay, that's also Jephthah. This is like a series of unfortunate events. So now Jephthah here, he says, and this is, what's the word? Envy, right? Because he's been kicked out of his father's house. He's been kicked out of his father's land. And he says, you want me to do all this for you after you kick me out? Okay, well, rather than doing this out of the goodness of his heart or anything, he's like, well, if I come do this for you, I'm going to be the head of the house, right? I'm going to be the leader of the Gileadites, right? And they're all like, oh, okay, yeah. They must have been really in the hole. But yeah, that was Jephthah making a decision out of envy also. And certainly not out of love. And then he went through all of this hell with the fighting and the battle and everything. And then he said, as the children of the Ammonites, if he can just take out these last guys, the children of the Ammonites, he makes the dumbest vow. I mean, oh my gosh, who did he think was going to come out of his house? Right? Jephthah vowed unto the Lord, if thou shalt without fail deliver the children of Ammon into my hands, then it shall be that whatsoever cometh forth of the doors of my house to meet me, when I return in peace from the children of Ammon, shall surely be the Lord's, and I will offer it up for a burnt offering. Did he think a cow was going to come out of his house? Or a servant? Maybe he had a ton of servants and just assumed that one of the servants would come to see him. But okay, if I'd have made this vow, I would not have fulfilled it. If that makes me a terrible Christian, I don't know. But that's also part of the reason why God says not to swear, not to make vows, right? Well, not to make vows, but he says, swear under, how does it say? Maybe someone else can remember it. I'm drawing a blank. It seems like there should be a loophole there. Here's the loophole. Should God strike me dead for refusing to follow through on a vow like this when my daughter ran out of the house, then let God strike me dead. Right? If I vowed a vow like that, and the punishment for breaking that vow was my own execution, take it. Take my life. Take my life, please. Great point. It's free will to make a vow. Don't vow evil things. Yeah, I mean, he could have said, I will vow to sacrifice 50%, 80%. I'll vow my entire next year's increase, whatever. You don't make some stupid vow like this. And then if you do make a stupid vow like this, I don't care what my daughter said, I would not follow through on that vow. Of my harvest, yeah. I just can't. I can't take it. I can't deal with the fact that he did this. I'm trying to understand like his motivation. I mean, I know he swore an oath, but it's like we've seen him in the beginning. He was kicked out of his home. He was kicked out of his lineage for out of jealousy. He returns in envy. I think he may have made the vow out of greed. Right? I think he may have made the vow out of greed because it was that envy, that wanting to be the head of the family, that wanting to have his name restored to him, wealth, power, position, all that stuff. And he said, I'll give you anything, God. God, I'll give you anything if you give me all this stuff that has been taken from me unfairly. And it was pride. Yeah, sketchbook. That's what I'm saying. And rather than in this moment where he comes on think how faithful his daughter was. His daughter made this sacrifice out of faith. She's like, you can't go back on your word to the Lord, right? And then he doesn't. I mean, obviously, but hey, he got everything he wanted, except for it cost him everything that mattered. You can get everything you want at the cost of everything that matters. That's a devil's bargain. A devil's bargain he made with God. And all he had to do was not. I hate stories where people just make one bad decision after another. And I particularly hate this story because I have children. I have a daughter. And it just... I could never do what he did at the end there. Hope Jephthah is in hell, says Withheld Rather Not Say. Yeah, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but lose his soul? It's a warning, I think. Yeah, I think a lot of it's, Judges, God, well, okay, it's not just Judges. God uses imperfect people all the way through. Well, okay, we're all imperfect, right? But God rarely uses paragons of virtue to tell his stories and make his points in Scripture, right? Judges is full of just people who are constantly screwing up, filled with pride, filled with envy, filled with lust, and yet God uses them. It kind of, it's funny. I know a few of you might have been watching Doug TenNaples' thing earlier, and he's talking about Game of Thrones is trash, even though he's never read Game of Thrones or watched Game of Thrones. And Reagan Lodge got in there, and he was talking about how George kills off all of his noble people because he wants like all these imperfect people telling a story. I'm like, what do you think the Bible is? That's the Bible. It's using all of these screwed up people to tell God's story. And honestly, I think it is in a very real sense so that all of us can relate, right? There's someone in the Bible who every one of us in our own personal failings can relate to, right? There's only one perfect person in the Bible, and his name was Jesus. Boo Doug. That's why I love Doug. Opinions will differ. Maybe that's the lesson. He made the vow selfishly and without thought, thinking he wouldn't have to sacrifice anything he could live without. Right. Right. God loves us all except Esau, whom he hated. Doug is great. I enjoy his silliness of everything is trash. Yeah, so that's I don't know. I think that's a good place to Wow, we are 45 minutes in. I spent so much time boomering I didn't even get to. All right, we need to get to the story of the day. Darn it. I'm sorry. All right, I need to open that browser back up and reduce its size because it is gigantic. All right, let's bring this over here. Oopsie. And reduce. That's good. And let's get over to the story, which is bam on the LA Times. Wait, I wanted. Shoot, I didn't want the LA Times one. I like the other one. Dadgummit, what'd I do with it? Oh, here we go. Bam. From the Daily Caller. Combat vet who stopped the synagogue shooter. I scared the hell out of him. The man who fired a semi-automatic weapon inside the CHABAD Poway synagogue in San Diego on Saturday froze, dropped his gun, and sprinted to his car when he saw Oscar Stewart come barreling toward him, yelling so loud the priest at a neighboring church could hear. "Get down," Stewart yelled, according to his wife and others who were at the scene. "You mother effer, I'm going to kill you." Others who were there later told him it sounded like 4 or 5 people were shouting. He thinks maybe an angel was standing behind him and speaking through his voice. When the shooter ran, he immediately gave chase. Stewart, 51, told the Daily Caller on Sunday he doesn't remember any conscious thought from the moment he heard the gunshots until it was all over. He just acted on instinct to stop the shooter and prevent him from leaving so he couldn't hurt more people somewhere else. The Iraq combat veteran said his military training kicked in. "I knew I had to be within 5 feet of this guy so his rifle couldn't get to me," Stewart said, "so I ran immediately toward him and yelled as loud as I could, and he was scared. I scared the hell out of him." Stewart served in the Navy in explosive ordnance disposal from 90 to 94, then enlisted in the Army in 2001 because of September 11 terror attacks. Looking back, it was kind of a crazy thing to do, but I did it. He was deployed to Iraq in 2003 and left the military in 2004 as a staff sergeant. He's now in construction work. When the gunman opened fire, he was in the back of the synagogue. By the time he got to the lobby, the shooter had killed one woman, blown the finger off a rabbi, and injured 2 others. "I heard gunshots," Stewart said, "and everybody got up and started trying to get out of the back door, so I, for whatever reason, I didn't do that. I ran the other way. I ran towards the gunshots. That's what heroes do." He didn't say that, I said that. "When I came around the corner into the lobby area," because heroes don't say we're heroes, "I saw the individual with a gun, and he fired 2 rounds. I yelled at him, and I must have yelled very loud, and he looked at me, and I must have had a really mean look on my face or something, because he immediately dropped his weapon and turned and ran, and then I gave chase." Stewart said he chased him all the way out to his car and began pounding on it. The shooter had managed to lock himself in. When Stewart saw him reach for a rifle, he punched the side of the car as hard as he could, intending to figure out a way to drag him out of the car. That's when a Border Patrol agent who attends the synagogue came running out to the parking lot, yelling for Stewart to get down because he had a gun. Stewart says this man may have saved his life and pointed to his use of a civilian's gun as evidence that gun control isn't the answer to these kinds of tragedies. Stewart was off duty and was apparently handed the weapon by someone else on the scene. "It takes a good guy with a gun to stop a bad guy with a gun," he told Caller. The agent fired several rounds into the lower part of the vehicle, intending to disable it, but the shooter managed to drive away. The two of them grabbed a phone from someone and called the police to report the license plate. The shooter later turned himself in. After he sped off, Stewart ran back into the synagogue and found a woman he knew, 60-year-old Gilbert Kay, unresponsive on the floor in the lobby. He began CPR and continued trying to bring her back to life as a couple doctors arrived began to assist him. She didn't make it. The two had talked occasionally, and he remembers her as a passionate and kind woman. She had different political views, so we had interesting discussions when we talked. He said, "We didn't just talk about the weather. It was kind of cool. She was a very loving woman." Stewart considers her the real hero. Eyewitnesses said she jumped in front of the rabbi to save his life. People in the aftermath here have been saying it's important to be strong and defend ourselves. I also think it's important to know that being strong and defending ourselves requires a lot of sacrifice too. I don't know if I consciously made the choice to potentially sacrifice myself, he added, but I did. And this lady, she stood and she jumped in front of the shooter and she saved the rabbi's life. When somebody said I was a hero, I'm like, she was a hero. That's what a hero is. I just did it instinctively, like an animal. There was no conscious decision in it. I just did it. He may not call himself a hero, but Stewart believes his actions effectively stopped the shooter. He doesn't think reports of the shooter's gun jamming as the reason he fled are likely to be true, because he was using a semi-automatic rifle. Fully automatic weapons will jam, he said. Semi-automatics weapons do not jam. He thinks maybe the shooter had emptied his magazine. Whatever the case, the shooter let the slung weapon drop and fled. He was in the act of shooting when I saw him, Stewart said. When I yelled at him, he turned and looked at me, and he froze. And then the look on his face was one of amazement at first, and then one of fear. He saw me coming, and I was ready to do whatever I had to stop him. For his part, Stewart doesn't attribute the shooter's actions to a larger agenda and was reluctant to connect him to larger political context. He doesn't blame President Donald Trump, and he expressed hope that the people don't try to blame anyone else for the man's actions. He was an individual acting alone, he said. If you're ignorant and you don't know what people are like, you don't know that I'm a person just like you. I go to work every day in a manual labor job. I'm not some, supposedly he said in his manifesto that the Jews control this and that. I don't control anything. I go to work just like you every day. He didn't know that. If he had gotten to know me, he would know that I'm a great person. I'm a nice guy. I'm a very caring person, he continued. My apprentices, they all love me. They say that I'm the best teacher in the world, that I care, that I try to teach them, and that if they had known any of these people, like the lady Lori who died, she would go give Easter baskets to kids, and that's not even a Jewish thing, she was just a warm person. If anything's to blame, he says it's social media and the increasingly disconnected world we find ourselves in. The whole media thing. People don't get to know people, and they get to sit in a cocoon and sit and make opinions on what somebody writes. It's not good. We need to interact more. The most important thing I want to share is that we need to know each other, he said. If you make an opinion on anyone, you need to know what they're about and who they are. You can't generalize and say every blue person is evil because they're blue. That's ridiculous. The funeral service for Kay is on Monday. He expects the synagogue will be totally packed. Yeah, well, it doesn't say. This guy is a Democrat, so he is the blue that they're talking about. But yeah, that's a hero. That's a hero. Someone who doesn't think about himself. I know he just jumped into instinct and just ran out and tried to stop someone from doing an egregious, horrible thing. Yeah, it's weird. It kind of correlates back to the whole Jephthah thing, because, what is your motivation? What is your motivation for doing the things you do? Are you doing things out of greed, out of envy, out of pride? If Jephthah was just an honorable man, like Joseph. Joseph was treated like dirt, and his brothers wanted to kill him, and they sold him into slavery and all that stuff. But he never held resentment in his heart. He wasn't he was already king of the bloody world. or second most powerful man in Egypt. But Jephthah's first thing is, if I do all this for you, are you going to make me your leader? Are you going to make me the top dog? Just envy, envy. I don't know. Motivation motivation means a lot. I don't know how else to say that. Good guy with a gun saving lives. That's how it's done. Yep. Yeah, and that lady, man. Same thing. You throw yourself in front of a gun. It's funny because I watch videos, and I've seen it in my own life, of people. You watch videos of like someone beating the snot out of somebody else, and just people just watching, nobody doing anything. But yeah, here and there's a hero who will jump in front of that gun, who will chase down a man with a semi-automatic rifle. Thank God for heroes. Because if they all just cowered behind tables, they'd all be dead. But I understand that rabbi was the one in the CHABAD taught personal safety and defense, and getting, if you can, getting concealed carry and stuff like that. That's what I heard on another radio show. So I'm glad he wasn't teaching everybody to cower in fear when someone does something. Peter says, those dudes on a train in France stopping a jihadist with an AK? I didn't even hear that. Sketchbook says, no greater love than one who is willing to lay down their life for a friend. Yeah, God bless her indeed. I don't know. I'm tearing up about this story. I know the whole crying Mike meme, but something about just reading that story, I'm just like tearing up. It's just, maybe it's just so close to home. I don't know. I mean, the Chabad's only like 35 minutes away from here. About 2 years ago. Mars says, notice how one or two people do all the work in these situations. Yeah. That woman jumped in front of the rabbi. It was amazing. What a heroic act. The lady's husband rushed to help the victims, then learned his wife had been killed. Yeah, and curious. I'm curious. I read another article where he was talking about his wife was in the woman's area. So I wonder if this is an Orthodox synagogue. Probably, because I think this is the one that my father-in-law has gone to. So I don't know. I don't want to speculate about stuff. It's Chabad, bro. They're extreme orthodoxy. Okay, I didn't know if there were Chabad that weren't. I didn't know if it was only Orthodox. I teared up too a few times. It's a powerful story. It is. It's not just a story, a true story. I know. And it's here. It's at home, and it's it's not history. It's last week. The scary and confusing thing about anti-Semitism is there are extremes on both left and right who feel the same way. It's weird. Yeah. I guess I can agree with that. I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't think anti-Semitism necessarily has anything to do with politics. I mean, it's religion, it's religious bigotry, and there's probably anti-Semitic people in the middle, or on the soft right or on the soft left. It's just, I don't think it's got much to do with politics. There is an extreme anti-Semitism in certain, well, obviously, Islam. And for some reason, communism, I don't know why the Russians hated the Jews. But that's probably just a cultural greed and envy thing, making them the scapegoats like they did in Germany. Make the other the enemy to unify the people. And the Jews were the other, the successful other that were getting rich because they're smart. Sorry, that's statistical reality. Jews are statistically smarter than, well, Jews and Asians, because they killed 100 million Russians. The Jews killed 100 million Russians? What? Owen Benjamin, the comedian, was full anti-Semitic, has 6,000 view streams. Owen Benjamin is anti-Semitic? 90% of the Bolsheviks were Jews. Putin said it to Netanyahu to his face some months ago. Really? That's a first I've heard of. I thought the Bolsheviks were like Eastern Orthodox. The Democrat politicians have been extremely anti-Semitic for a while now, even the Jewish politicians. Yeah, yeah. That's because the Jewish state is a democracy and capitalist, and that's what they hate. They hate the Jewish state. Most Bolsheviks were atheists. Well, we're not going to get into a history lesson here because, unfortunately, we are out of time. I know, I do apologize for the booming so badly in the beginning, but if you're an Asian Jew, then you've nailed it. All my kids are Asian Jews. Marx was a Jew. I know. I don't get it. But anyways, I gotta cut this off. Much and more things to do today. So thanks everyone for being here. Thank a hero in your life. Read your Bible, obviously. Spend time in prayer. Seek truth, and you will find it. Yeah. And back Lone Star. LoneStarComic.com. Thanks, guys. Love you all. Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications if you have not already. I will see you soon. I'm probably going to do a drawing stream after I do some shipping out of stuff. So, aloha, mahalo, God bless.